Hi everyone, I'm Allison Thelke. I'm the online instructional coach for Front Range Community College. So I'm happy to be greeting you through this brief screencast. I am going to try to post 10-minute or less screencasts every day as we get geared up for the March 30th launch date of our new revised way of providing instruction for our students. And I'm welcoming you to this Thursday, um, March 19th day. It's snowing. There's a lot going on. Things change within a 24-hour period very rapidly. And so that's why I'm going to be posting some things. We've been running a lot of sessions, a lot of training sessions. We've been rapidly building resources for all of you through our virtual instructional design center. If you haven't taken a look there, please do. Try to look for the things that are most relevant to you in the moment. And I do realize at this point that like a snow day has been called for Friday, and that Boulder County campus and Westminster campus um, are probably wrapping up plans for your March 30th launch. But I wanted to interrupt that with this message from us in online learning. We're here to support you, and I just want to reach out because I know there's a lot going on for everyone, including your students. And today I've got 3 big tips. And again, we're coming from years and years of experience delivering quality online instruction. I want you to know that we have a whole cadre of instructors and faculty at this college who have experience in doing what you're trying to do on the fly. And we do not, first message, we do not expect these to be quality experiences through the rest of the semester. We just want to get through with the most essential learning. And so my very first tip for you today is to contact your students now. Don't wait until March 30th. Contact them now. And the only decision that I want you to make before you contact them is how you plan to communicate with them. And I have some tips for how I think you can do that. I recommend using the announcements tool in D2L, which I'll show you in just a minute, and the D2L internal messaging for one-to-one conversations back and forth. Yes, you can use Front Range email. No, you shouldn't use student personal emails. Stick to the institution's systems because that will help us with FERPA privacy. So it's fine to reach out to students if you know how to look up their personal email and you want to send an initial message to them. You can certainly do that and just tell them to check the place that you've decided to communicate with them, but don't give them a lot of details. That's my recommendation. So when you do contact your students this week, this day, I hope, let them know that you are here, that we are all concerned about what's going on, and that we acknowledge that this is a difficult and rapidly evolving time. Just let them know, I'm here with you, we're in this together, there are going to be bumps, but we'll get through it if we work together. And the very first message they need to hear is how you're planning to communicate with them, how they can contact you, when they can contact you, how you will be responding in terms of timeliness and things like that. So choose a communication vehicle and let students know, again, acknowledge what we're going through, give a comment of encouragement, and then let them know that you'll be sending detailed information about the plan that you have and that you have a plan. I have a plan for us. We're going to get through this and we're going to be flexible. Those are big messages I want you to be sending to your students right now. I also think it's important for them to log into D2L sometime on March 30th to receive, or your communication vehicle, just to get that next step information from you. And so you should have prepared to launch the messaging that you're going to do once you've figured out how you're going to sustain the learning through the rest of the semester. So first thing, contact your students, contact them now. Acknowledge, reassure, um, let them know you're with them, and let them know that you have a plan and how you're going to communicate with them so that they know what to do. Um, okay, number 2, when you're making technology choices, I want you to be mindful of several things. It's really easy for us to say, oh, we're going to use WebEx to meet during class, which is fine and dandy until WebEx doesn't work. And I can tell you from this week, we use WebEx all the time for meetings in online learning. And we're pretty savvy with it, we're pretty familiar with it. But this week, there's been several issues, audio not working or bandwidth delays. And I think with the number of people using these tools to replicate learning in both higher ed and K-12 systems, we may be taxing what systems can hold. And so we always need a backup plan. So I would strongly advise you to consider asynchronous, simpler versions of what you're planning to do, at least as a backup, if not a starting place for continuing this onward. Depending on how tech savvy or how confident with technology you are, that could make and break some of these moments. And it's a guarantee that your students also have a variety of experience with technology. You will be surprised how many of them struggle even with D2L, as many of you may know, if you're using D2L in limited ways, because we assume that they just get all technologies, but they don't. And some of our students may not have, even though we're rolling out information to students about staying connected and getting deals from their internet service providers and things like that. We do have homeless students. We have students who are not going to be able to access our course or our materials anywhere but their phone. And they may or may not have internet access. So we have to be mindful of that. And so other issues with technology choices, just like we have different brands for different products, we have different brands of pasta that you might buy and different brands of toilet paper, which we're learning all about now, and having to make sacrifices with the brand that we're not maybe so excited about. Similarly, with tech tools, we have different companies and they offer the same service on a different platform. I want to push out a strong message to you all. We recommend that you utilize first Front Range institutional or community college, our community college system approved tools first, because we have paid for licensing to include all of you, instructors, faculty, to have an account and for students to have accounts in these systems. And the reason that is useful to us is several reasons. First, there are additional IT security and FERPA privacy issues that have been resolved when we purchase institutional licensing for products. Second, we obtain the full use of the tool. So most products will give you limited use. It might be a certain number of things that you can create or a certain number maximum of people who can participate in a video conference or other things. And while a lot of companies out there are making exceptions to that right now, that's not always going to be the case. And we don't want to be asking students to create new accounts. We want them to use accounts they already have under Front Range licensing. And you will have access to all the toolkits available to you because we have licensed certain tools. Another reason is that in online learning, we are going to be maxed in providing you with tech support, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't contact us. Definitely contact us. But I also want you to know that we're going to be much more familiar with the tools that we sponsor. And we can help you with those tools in a way that we can't in other tools. So if you're thinking about video conferencing, I've heard a lot of people, oh, well, we can just use Zoom, or we can use Skype, or we can use Google Hangouts, or we can do all these things. Sure, you can, but you might be limited, and you might not. And I'm not saying we're prohibiting you from using these other tools. I'm just saying that you're going to have more support, more access, and you already have an account with things like WebEx. Same thing with, I've been hearing people say, well, we'll set up a Slack channel. For those of you who know what Slack is. Well, WebEx offers a tool that replicates basically what Slack does, and it's called WebEx Teams. And so I want to be able to let you know that even though that tool is, there's some quirks to it, it still is an option. And in D2L, we have built-in embedded tools for you that really do, there really are some slick things in here. And so I highly recommend that you look for the links that we're providing to the overview of D2L tools so that you can get familiar with things and starting to think about what types of what. So I just want to reiterate, we're here to support you. We're here to support the students and pay attention to drop-in sessions that are coming for Q&As. You can certainly contact us one-on-one. I'm going to put a drop for questions that we're designing in our virtual instructional design center for you. And please do connect with us when you need to, whether it's getting ready for your class or as you're kicking things off. More tips to come. Take care.